Okay.
15, yeah.
At this point, we're going to open the meeting of the Carver Conservation Commission for June 21st, 2017. Our first order of business is some action, discussion, and possible votes. Surprise. Okay, we have minutes to read from June 7th, 2017.
So that was when you weren't here,
Right.
right? You give those to Savory if you
Oh,
want.
Savory.
And it's Priscoli.
Yeah, it's, I didn't catch that. Yes, Priscoli, P-R, so it's John, space, capital D-E-L-L-I, and then P-R-I-S-C-O-L-I. Okay. Thanks.
This the June 7th?
So we can't really vote on these anyway because you weren't here.
Right.
So we don't have a quorum to vote on the minutes
Can't
again.
vote.
Which is what happened last time, because Alex couldn't vote on the, approve the last ones because he wasn't at that meeting, so the last two haven't been.
Well, then, wait a minute. We have a quorum, right? And so you can vote. My vote just can't be counted, but it'll be 2-0. Oh,
But we need three for a quorum.
you have 3. The fact that the third person can't vote. Let's try it.
I'm not really, that's a good question. We
Yeah,
didn't
that's
do it
what I-
last time, but.
Yeah, we didn't, we asked
Because we
last time.
assumed that,
Yeah.
that Alex couldn't vote, and so that we didn't have a quorum to.
Okay, well, I'd say let's try it this time and see.
Technicality.
Yeah. We could always spend $200 and call the town lawyer, too.
What are they gonna do, throw us in jail?
Why not? At least to get some good meals. Okay. So do we see any need to amend these minutes? Aside from what I did already, the one,
Right.
correction Deli's
Do spelling
name.
things.
Oh, yes, 26 Gate Street, oh, yes. Oh, good. So do we have a motion to, let's try, a motion to approve these minutes as...
Give me a second here.
As amended.
I'm on the last page. Give me a
From
second.
Slavery wants to finish.
I'll ask about that just to make sure, to see if that's.
Yeah, well, we can approve them, and then if it turns out to be invalid, we'll simply do it again.
Yeah.
We'll approve them again.
All right. I make a motion to approve the minutes of June 7th with the correction noted by Mr. Nowen.
I'll
They also have the corrections that you, oh, no, okay.
Spell it.
No, that was the May 17th.
Yep.
And I'll second.
Been moved and seconded to accept the minutes for June 7th, 2017 as amended. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
And that's 1 abstention. So two yes, no no's, 1 abstention. Okay. So, all right then. And next, update on the Cole property. Did you want to talk about how it went?
Well, just so we went out with Audubon the other day.
Right.
And looked at the seeding and the shrubs looked very good, and they just, they said there's no need to do anything else right now. He seemed pretty happy.
Yeah. There was a few invasive plants he thought we were going to have to start spotting and
There
pulling
was
out.
some, yeah, a few multiflora rose shrubs.
That's not so bad. It's that other,
Oh, that black swallow.
yeah, the black swallow, yeah.
Yeah, but otherwise, he was, happy
Right.
with the seeding, and there wasn't a lot of stuff, to seed, but it hasn't been that long either.
Okay.
And Jim's working on the boulders.
Yes. Hell of a time rolling them up from South Carver. Okay. All right, so here, it is now time to open our hearing. So, notice is hereby given in accordance with the Mass Wetlands Protection Act, Mass General Laws, Chapter 131, Section 40, and the Carver Wetlands Protection Bylaw. A public hearing will be held at 7:15 p.m. on Wednesday, June 21st, 2017, in Meeting Room 1 at the Carver Town Hall, to hear the request for determination of applicability, that is, request, filed by Joe Shanahan, Clean Energy Collective, to determine, A, whether an area depicted on the plans and/or maps referenced in an area is subject to jurisdiction of the Wetlands Protection Act, and D, whether the area and/or work depicted on reference plans is subject to the jurisdiction of any municipal wetlands ordinance or bylaw of the town of Carver. The request is for a determination as to the upland designation of 6 cranberry bogs located on the reference property. The project is located at 42 Fuller Street, Carver, Mass. Map 30, Lot 10B. All interested parties invited to attend. Copies of all plans, filings, pertinent documents available at the Carver Conservation Commission office. Gentlemen, please sit up and you come to this table if you make your presentation, and sign in when you get a chance to.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
You want to copy this stuff? This is the
Yeah.
stuff that Brad gave us.
Is that the,
This
is the agenda there too? Because there was no agenda.
You didn't get it here. Take mine for right now.
Oh.
Pass another agenda over, please,
Sorry.
with ketchup.
Agenda?
Okay. Thanks, Jen.
May I
Okay,
begin,
yeah.
Mr. Chairman? Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the commission. My name is Joe Shanahan. I'm Director of Real Estate and Permitting for a company called Clean Energy Collective. We're a Colorado-based renewable energy company with local offices here in Worcester, Massachusetts. I won't take too long, but it's our first venture into the town of Carver. I'd like to tell you a little bit about CEC. We're a company that started about 7 years ago. Our concentration is in the construction, operation, and maintenance of community-shared ground-mounted solar systems, although we've gradually moved into some rooftop and canopy facilities also. In the 7 years since we originated, we have developed 110 different solar facilities in 13 states. In the last 90 days, we've moved into 3 additional states, Minnesota, Rhode Island, and South Carolina. So we'll be up to 14 different states by the end of the summer. We've done a project in your neighboring town of Plumpton. We did it on a cranberry bog at that location, and coincidentally, a cranberry bog owned by the same gentleman that owns 42 Fuller Street, John Norrie, doing business as Carver Middlebury Cranberry Company. We're looking at this particular site to develop a ground-mounted system. We're not proposing any work this evening, as the chairman noted in the legal notice. What we are here for this evening is to request the commission to confirm a report that we have submitted that would indicate that the bog is in fact upland, that it does not have the characteristics necessary to be designated wetland, and therefore should not be within the jurisdiction of either the State Wetlands Protection Act or your local wetlands bylaw. That report was prepared by Environmental Consulting Restoration. They, by the way, are the same firm that did our report over in Plumpton on the exact same issue. We have Brad Holmes from that company here this evening. Also with me is Griffin Bowdoin, who represents Atlantic Design Engineering, who are our civil engineers on this particular project. I'm not sure if you've had the opportunity to review Mr. Holmes' submission, but with the chair's permission, I would like to introduce Mr. Holmes, have him give you a brief overview of who he is, what he did, and what his findings are, and certainly he's better able to address any technical questions on the subject than I am. If you have any questions with regard to the company itself, I'd be glad to address them.
Okay, well, let's hear Mr. Holmes and see.
Thank you.
Great.
Good evening, members of the commission. Brad Holmes with Environmental Consulting and Restoration. As Joe had just explained, been involved in this site as far as a review to determine upland versus wetland status. And often a person as a wetland scientist and the commission probably gets it more than I do, but I get calls to investigate a bog, and the owner is looking to try to convert it other than the use of cranberry bogs. And as you have probably seen, the majority of the times you go out to these sites, they're bog, swamp, wetlands all around them, and there's no ability or likelihood that there were uplands to start with. This case is different. As I went through the research, as documented in my report, everything reveals that it was an upland area. Prior to going to the site, before you start wandering around, sticking your head in the ground, I want to know what was there, what the information is available to show. So what I did was went through the Mass GIS wetlands data layers. I went through the U.S. Geological Survey maps, and the USGS map shows it as an upland. Wanted to see what aerial imagery shows. There is, as you know, there isn't a lot of good aerial imagery as you move backwards, but the 1970s aerial image does show the area as being forested, and from what I could see moving through the 90s and 2000 was that the area was forested in the 70s, probably gravel pit excavated because you could see it was all cleared, and then the formation of the cranberry bog started somewhere around 1997 to 2001 is when they seem to be kind of completed. The soils mapping in that area also shows that it's a upland soil. The 1969 Plymouth County soil book shows that it was a Hinkley soil, which is not listed as a wetland soil. So that data of knowledge prior to going to the site was key, and also to see what's in the surrounding areas. Was there, a stream coming through? What's in the abutting areas that would lead it to be a wetland? So having that in hand, I performed a site evaluation in April 23rd. And as you go through the cranberry bogs, they're almost identical. All 6 bogs are almost identical. They're all well-maintained cranberry vine with a little bit of little blue stem grasses popping up here and there, but overall it's probably 99% or so maintained cranberry vine. So there isn't any wetland vegetation other than the cranberry vine, but you do have some upland grasses of that little blue stem popping up here and there. When you analyze the soils underneath the cranberry vine, it reveals a nice bright upland soil. I dug hand dug test pits in each bog, cataloged them, and also did numerous augering throughout the area. I do have those maps. I'm not, in color, so I'm going to pass it around so you can take a look. But the maps go from the USGS map. Oh, you have it.
We think we have them already, yeah.
See, I wasn't sure we had the whole stuff, but we got everything, yep.
And if you go to the last few pages, you see my photos. And in those photos, you see that soil pit and that nice bright sand underneath the...
In the auger scoop?
Well, there's the first page of the photos gives you, photograph 1's just an overview. Photograph 2 is a soil auger, and the soil conditions throughout the bogs were uniform. The photographs 3 and 4 are an example of a hand-dug test pit, and you can see the bright, sand layer there. So this was, a sea layer soil that was, I don't know what the elevations were of the site prior to the elevation of the cranberry bog, but you can tell that this is kind of a subsurface layer. And additionally, the soil test pits were free of weeping water. There wasn't any water coming in. Obviously, if they, flooded the bogs and they have irrigation systems to support the bogs with water, but at the time of the investigation in the early spring, there wasn't any water within the soil profile. So based on the research that I performed, all leading to upland conditions and the field investigations, which confirm that. It's my findings that the 6 cranberry bogs were created from the upland and would be considered upland conditions other than the cranberry vine, which would be wetland species, but obviously introduced and maintained.
Right. Right.
Which was somewhat shocking in the sense that normally 9 times out of 10 when you go and investigate, as I said, these bog scenarios, they're wetland swamps that were created
Right.
into cranberry bogs, which makes sense.
Yeah. And normally you see a good deal more of the brightly colored stuff that shows up in the in the water, in the wet areas as you go down.
Correct.
Can't remember, I took some training in it a while ago, but we haven't had to use it. It's been so dry, we haven't
Right.
used it that much. Okay, we might want to just have a little spot checking done by a independent person for the commission. And that's part of our setup. And
Yep.
so,
Yep, and I talked to Brad a little bit and said, it's not that we don't, agree with Brad, or it's just that, the commission and myself were not really qualified to dispute it. We went out and looked at it, but and this is becoming a big thing in Carver now, the upper bonds.
It's a good protocol to follow.
Yeah,
It's not
yeah.
unexpected.
And
Quite
then-
candidly,
right.
your neighbor, the town of Plimpton,
Right.
did the exact same thing.
Yeah, and there's 6 bogs, it's not just one bog.
The one thing I might add, it's not relevant to these proceedings right away, but although there are 6 bogs, it would continue to operate as a bog for 2 of them. Our plan is to just develop on 4 of them.
where's Mr. Norrie's project in Plimpton? Stacey didn't know. You said it way up at the north end, just shy of the,
Yes.
yeah, off of 58 on the side?
Brook Road, was it?
Brook Street.
Brook Street.
Street, okay, okay. Yeah. Don't get up there too often, it's so far away. Okay,
Which of the 4
I was
are you
just going to
planning on
ask
using?
that.
4 northerly bogs.
the northerly, okay. Right, I see on this one map here, sort of
Oh, okay.
indicates that that's where,
Before, farther away when we drove in the other day, probably. 4 farther ones, right?
Am I looking at this right between 1971 and 1990, that this is water here and it's not here, that this was at one point filled in?
that's quite possible, say, I don't know.
Yeah, okay.
I wouldn't be surprised at all, because,
Yeah, I mean, it's
Yeah.
27 years ago. Just- okay.
201 shows that filled in, pretty much.
Yeah, that's in the bogs, okay. So no bogs in 90.
Probably want to make it a little more easier to get to his area there.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
This area is attractive in that it doesn't have a lot of neighbors. About 3 years ago, we had a solar array put in south of there, and just off of Purchase Street a little bit, and it was right on the edge of a development, and it engendered an awful lot of ill-conceived opposition.
I just indicate to you, Mr. Chairman, to pat my company on its back. Part of our site selection process is concerned for that very issue. Not only to be a good neighbor, but it makes our processes a little easier.
Right.
If it's going to run into neighborhood opposition, if we're not going to be a welcome neighbor, we move on to a different location. It's just easier and better for everyone.
Yeah.
You said it's on the northern end. How close or how far away is it from the Fuller Street Pond?
It's just a little below it, John.
Yeah, we'll be at least 200 feet.
200 feet?
Yeah.
That's what I'm asking, the
I
footage
think you maintain a 200-foot setback requirement
from, yeah.
for your solar facilities anyway.
Okay.
Let's see, he said the first 4 northerly, so I'm taking that tip one.
Oh,
2,
okay,
3,
yeah. 'Cause
4.
I think we do.
So it would be,
You wanted
all the
two
ones, at least,
working
this
on
whole
each.
project is 23A, basically, yeah.
There's only a dirt road
And
here
the-
and then the pond. Well, these were the
Father,
4.
too.
1, 2,
Right.
3, 4.
I'm trying to think where we drove in.
I guess then in pursuit of a review, if that's where the commission decides, would you provide us with a couple quotes, or how do you move forward with that?
We generally, we pick somebody, we have a list
Okay.
of consultants that we use, and we'll just,
So would you want to see, if you want to see the
I had,
first, or, I mean,
whatever
Once we
your
finish.
normal procedure is, I haven't,
yep.
yeah.
I'm just
We
asking.
haven't really done it a lot. I mean, we did it, the
No.
one for, we just.
Yes, we
I think
did
we
the one
just
down to
said, yeah,
Edaville.
Yeah,
Yeah, we did it for
yep,
Edaville.
yep.
But, no, what we'd do is Brooke did find that Peter Fletcher was available, so,
Okay.
and we've used him with
So
great,
he, I could just send him your stuff, and then he would look at it and then, you
Do
know,
some
I guess
verifications
get back
probably,
with us
so.
with a, you know,
Yeah.
a price.
That sounds good.
If he needs to visit the site, which is probably part of his role,
Yeah,
he can certainly reach
Yeah.
out to me and we can coordinate that.
okay,
No
yeah,
problem.
yeah, I'm sure he
Okay.
would, yeah. I mean, unless he looks right, he might look at your stuff.
well, actually, once you come to us, we basically have carte blanche to go on the site for investigation, studies, whatever else,
Oh,
so,
I know.
yeah, okay.
Regulatory wise.
Right. But no, even investigating for the possibility of it, it's, but it's not that we're gonna damage it,
I understand.
but,
We went out on a site visit yesterday?
Yes.
Yesterday morning and looked at the bogs. And one thing that we thought we would ask you to do as well would be to mark where their holes were.
Brad's, okay, if
All
you
right,
would,
so where
could
we-
put some flags in?
Sure.
Just where, so we know where you dug, so that also when we get the consultant out there, he knows where you dug and can
Sure.
either
Can pick a different spot.
pick a different spot or go right, further
Right.
deeper where you were. So, we could have traipsed all over the place looking for a hole that's like this.
Sure, I
It
can
does
do that.
look as though probably they'll be very similar.
Yeah, you'd see the little sandy hole in the
Yeah.
cranberry bog, but
right,
this,
we
but I
looked.
can flag that out, and these are all, they're so, once you did one or two,
They're all
it's
the same,
100% the same.
yeah.
Yeah, well, we were looking for them, we kept finding sprinkler heads.
Right.
Not your holes.
I know, it's a big area, it doesn't look so big on the,
It's a
I
big
know,
area.
it-
on these images, but it is.
So, okay.
They're almost an acre, right, each one of those?
I think
Six
it-
bogs
Is
are-
it each about an acre? Probably
Almost. They looked about 100 by 400 approximately?
Yeah,
Yeah,
They're pretty symmetrical.
yeah.
yeah, except the two up top. Okay.
And if they're upland bogs, you won't have to worry about trying to preserve any agricultural, connection, because we had the case here where we had a wetland bog that the fellow wanted to put things on, and it was arranged by his putting them in a position that it was high enough that they could mow the vines underneath the
yes.
posts, and
So it's still agricultural.
it's still
use.
wetland, yeah.
Great.
So,
All right, so
Okay.
what is our
Yeah,
Always
so
step here?
I'll send the stuff to Peter and just
Right.
get a quote from him.
okay, and
And then I can let you know when he's gonna
I'm
come
not
out,
sure
or?
that the phone number is on that. I know
Oh,
it's
okay, I think
got
it- yeah.
passport.
I have, did I see you here?
I might put you in the town planner about 6
I knew
months
that,
ago.
I knew I did.
and we need a motion to continue.
Yeah. We probably, maybe
I
next
would,
meeting's July 12th.
okay.
Do you think you'll?
Would it be okay if we continued, say,
You've
till
got,
August, because we
time.
don't know the scheduling and summer's, okay.
Yeah.
There's not a big pressure on it, Brett?
No, we're going to begin the planning board proceedings in the next 3 weeks.
Oh,
anyway.
okay.
Just one of those parallel.
Okay, so that'll be a little bit.
All right, so should we just continue it to?
Let's just continue it,
Ooh,
yep, and then
July,
I'll
August.
talk to him, you know, beginning of the week and see when he can get out here.
All right, I'll make a motion that we continue this hearing until we ascertain the availability of the consultant.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded to continue the hearing until we get our consultant lined up. And all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Pass unanimous.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks for coming in and moving forward with us.
Just this one?
Do we have to, oh, sorry.
No.
He's like,
So we did the minutes, we did the business, we've done the hearing. Did we want to mention this letter? Did you guys get this letter?
Let's
Well, why
see,
don't
the Blackwell
Why don't we
letter?
talk to
Yeah.
Mr. Higgins first?
Oh, I'm
Yeah,
sorry,
okay, right,
yes,
yeah.
I'm sorry.
yes, sorry about that.
Right.
I didn't realize the thing was, anyway, when I talked to you, but,
All right.
yes, so we have
Yeah.
an informal discussion.
Okay.
28,
Is it, what number?
You know,
28,
28
28,
South,
right?
28.
South
I
Main?
only have
Yeah,
one,
Pat Higgins.
one page of the
That's
agenda.
about right. There's nothing else. That was
Okay.
it.
Oh, okay, this is across from the church.
Informal discussion's not on there, I guess.
Oh, that's okay.
I come to you guys before, and for a temporary dock, I think there's no permit for a temporary seasonal dock.
Oh, okay.
Right, that's
Can you
correct.
get her in front of the microphone, so, just so that she
Yeah.
can hear to put in the minutes?
Yeah, I'll leave that with you guys.
Okay.
Okay. As a local expert.
So I was coming just to ask a couple of questions about my lot and putting in a temporary seasonal dock. And then there is a vegetated wetland that is in the front that used to be an old bog.
Yeah,
So-
we know about that.
Right. We visited that a number of times.
So I was looking just to make sure it's okay to put in a seasonal dock. Didn't need a permit. And then the vegetated wetlands, this year it's been a little bit rainy and they're wet. I wanted to put a bridge just that goes across it so we're not traipsing through it and destroying it. And I didn't know if that was okay, so I thought I'd ask before I did it.
What's the dimension you have to cross?
I believe it's 60 or 70 feet. It's either 6 or 7 pieces of pier, bridge that we were going to put in. We're going to make 10-foot sections. Only the feet would be,
You remember that? That's the one that they
Yes.
had planted
Yeah,
with the
there were
blueberries?
blueberries, yeah.
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 Only the feet would touch the ground. We're not trying to go into the ground. We're not trying to make anything. So I just wanted to come and ask a question before we do anything.
And that would be just for your access to get to the dock,
That's it.
get to the pond.
That's it.
Would this be for
Do we need to say?
pedestrian or vehicular?
Pedestrian.
Okay.
We did a site. Did you do a site?
Now, you're going to have a boat, I
Too
take
long
it?
ago for me to-
We will. We'll have a boat with a boat lift in the pond also. Yep.
Right, and you can actually put the boat in on the south side, and then just bring it up along the shore.
I have many times already.
Okay. Okay, good. That's cool.
Haven't hit any rocks yet either.
And is there a
Water's
spot-
high.
It
Is there-
is so high this year. It's crazy high, isn't it?
It really is.
Is there already a spot there to put the dock? I mean, does it cut a lot of vegetation and stuff to?
There's a lot of lilies,
Yep.
water lilies, and it's very shallow there. It goes out, it's not a steep drop off.
Yeah.
It's pretty
Yeah.
shallow there.
Your dock might
But
have to be,
there's a dock at the Larches, which is right next door.
yeah.
Right, right.
So, and they have a power boat. They were out all day today, as a matter of
Yeah.
fact. So,
Just have to put in as many sections as necessary to get to the distance where you're going to be comfortable with it.
We have that drawn in there, and it's either 7 to 8 sections. Actually, we went out there on our paddle boards and used our paddles to touch bottom and stuff. It's not as shallow as I thought it was going to be, to be honest with you. I thought it was a lot shallower there. But if you're 40 feet off shoreline, it's probably about 4.5 to 5 feet deep, which I didn't think it was going to be that deep.
yeah, but it's also about 4.5 feet deep, another 50 feet out. I mean,
Okay, I didn't go another 50 feet, so
No, I
I'll take your word for that.
I remember water skiing there once, and I fell right in front of your property, and as I was putting my skis on, I hit something. I thought it was a turtle. And then I hit it
Bottom of the
again,
pond?
and it was the bottom of the pond, and I stood up, and I was up to here. I was probably 80 or 90 feet offshore.
Wow.
Yeah, I was quite surprised. All right.
You know, that pond is just the result of scooping up iron sediments
For the Cannonball
Had
Factory.
accumulated there, and then they were used by the iron furnaces back in the early 1800s.
Yep.
The whole pond?
He
The whole
said-
pond.
Yeah, the whole pond, yep.
Just a general,
So it isn't contaminated?
No, but,
I
you know,
mean, is that contaminated?
no, no,
No.
It's iron?
iron,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so, but, you know, they collected the iron and
Yes.
probably somehow filtered out the
Yeah.
sand and,
Right.
and then they smelted it down. And,
That was for the Cannonball Factory, correct?
yes,
that's
Yeah.
something different.
yep, cannonballs and cranberries.
This is
Yeah,
something. This
moved here in 1970.
Balls
would
and
be- It would be a
cranberries.
temporary.
Good comment.
How, you said 7 or 8 sections?
Of dock into the water and to go across the Cranberry Bog, I believe it's the same amount. I think it's 7.
So it would be a span, basically.
It spans 70 feet, I believe.
But it'd be above the bog. I mean, it would.
Yes,
We'd
it'd
probably
be 2
have to,
feet, no,
we'd have
2
to have
feet above
support
it.
posts, though,
Yeah.
every so often.
Correct.
Because remember you talked to there was another gentleman that was gonna try to develop the lot prior to Pat. And he wanted to cross that, and remember, and he was talking about putting a solid, like
Yes.
roadway in there. And
Fill.
and told him
Nope.
to put a pipe underneath it because we didn't want it to block.
Yeah.
up. So
Yeah,
we
not
decided to
interested in
block
that.
Because it became too complicated.
No, just the bridge over the top.
Yeah.
What are we looking at here at this drawing?
Yeah, the 60 to 70 foot, this must be the
Is this-
extension for the walkway.
These would be just the posts that go into the vegetated wetlands.
Oh, it's just a,
Oh,
okay,
okay,
horizontal.
that's
Just to show you, yeah, this is just to show you this bridge, that's it.
Okay.
And the dock will come out of over here. That- There would be probably 6 spots, maybe 7, where you'd have feet that touch the vegetated wetland, and that's it.
Okay,
So it sounds like it's a solid roadway or something like that,
right, okay, so, and there's a leg on each side, right? So,
Yes, it'd be a 10-foot section. These would be your planks going across it that's going out to the water, and you just have 2 legs every 10 foot that would touch the ground, and the sections would just bolt together.
okay. And what would you do on the dock that's in the water?
That is a.
Is it a floating dock, or?
No,
It
it is
can't
not
be.
a
It's-
floating
it's-
dock.
Aluminum
It's actually
run.
called a tip-in dock. They have tip-in dock systems now that you don't even need to get into the water. They're pre-made, pre-manufactured, which is why we were out there measuring the depths. They come with a leg so that you literally set your first section, tip it in, walk out, second section.
Oh, so you
tip
don't
it in.
need a big
Take it
machine
out
to
the same
do
way.
it.
You don't have to get into the water instead.
And can you do that by hand? It's light enough to do by?
Yes,
Yeah,
it is.
Oh.
it's aluminum, right? And then you put the
It's
the
aluminum?
wood,
Yeah.
the
They
panels
show-
in?
Excuse me?
The panels are separate, right?
Right, the panels are separate, 2 panels, there's an 8-foot section, aluminum section, it's got hooks on it, tip it in, splash, 2 4-foot panels, set them in,
Wow,
yeah.
nice.
And everybody who does it shows older gentlemen like ourselves doing it. Yeah, they definitely do, hey, you can do this on your own.
Where do you get off, call
Part of
yourself
their sales
older?
pitch.
It's a baby boomer dock.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think my brother has one like that
The
in
old
New York
people
State.
dock.
And the legs are just, are flat aluminum panels, right? I mean,
Correct.
that just rest on the sand bottom.
that's it.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I'm familiar with them.
The ones at Pine Ridge are gonna have legs, so I think that's like 4,
They're in already.
yeah.
Oh, he's going through a
But,
well.
yeah, that's their support. And in New York State, they use old automobile wheels welded to pipes.
Yeah.
We do that in Vermont, yeah.
Yankees.
Well, we were looking at the drawing to determine what was the dock. 'cause I
All right,
thought
so
it might have been a dock.
this would be permanent, this would be temporary.
Either one could be taken out, I don't see the sense
In the well.
No,
taking that
no,
out, to be
no.
honest with you.
right, no.
Definitely, one in the water, I don't want to leave it there when it freezes.
Well, you can't.
It has to, yeah, it has to come out, that's a state regulation. Otherwise, if it stays in,
I would think it'd get ruined if you left it in.
yeah, it probably
it's
would. But in
wrapped
addition,
and-
you'd have to go through piles of paperwork probably, so. It's a
So
state
So-
permit.
for the,
You thinking of notice of intent?
yeah, for the bridge over the
Yeah.
bog.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, not for the
Not for the
dock.
dock, because we didn't make, Pine Ridge do anything.
Well, we don't make anybody do
Wouldn't
it.
do it.
I know, I know. Thanks to you.
Well, not necessarily
No,
thanks to me.
no, but I mean, it's true. The
I
people,
mean-
and if it's seasonal, it's one thing, it's like.
Yeah, there have been a lot of new docks put in the last few
Right,
years, too.
Right.
So, yeah, I think for a notice of intent for the bog, because even, it's not a lot, but there's going to be
Right,
some
right.
No, it's
area that's-
construction,
Yeah, I mean, it's crossing a wetland, basically.
Right, and there may have to be a little bit of replication for where the legs stand, right?
Yes, yeah, that would,
Okay,
right.
all right.
Okay.
When do I come back?
Well, you have to file.
Yeah,
Have to go
so,
see,
Are you working with an engineer? Who's your engineer? I can talk to Joe. I mean, he knows how to do those, the applications and stuff, because for you to try to figure it out, it's kind of a pain in the neck. And yeah, so I just tell him that we would need notice of intent for the bridge, and he'll know what to do.
Oh, no, what a bridge now.
Okay. The bridge over the River Kwai.
All right, thank you very much.
thank you.
Good night.
how are your shoulders, by the way?
Did I tell you I went to Cancun, dove into
Yeah,
the
yeah,
water?
yeah.
I haven't had anything fixed since then, so they're very bad. Don't get me wrong, I have full range of motion, but if I was trying to put 8 pounds like this,
Yeah,
forget it.
You should go get something done, do a PT or something.
I've already tried to, and one of the problems that I ran into, now that everybody cares about veterans, come April, we actually switched health insurance policies. We went from Blue Cross Blue Shield to neighborhood health plan. I would tell nobody to go to neighborhood health plan.
Oh, so they won't cover it?
Just to get an MRI, they take 4 weeks to either approve or deny you. After 4 weeks waiting to hear if I can get an MRI, they tell me no, we're gonna deny you.
Oh, my
I'm
God.
like, why did the doctor tell me I needed an MRI, but you people,
Oh, that's
I called
horrible.
them up to ask them, they said, we can't tell you that, you're gonna have to call, we sub this out to another company.
Yeah.
Call that company. I said, I'm not calling that company. I said, why are you? I said, because I don't pay them, I pay you. Now you can tell me,
Oh, that's horrible.
I can stop paying you.
Got time to visit Washington with a large bat, maybe?
I'm sure you guys have healthcare issues too. but
Oh,
have a
yeah.
great night.
all right,
Thank you.
thanks, Pat.
I'm just gonna have you sign this when we leave. This is, well, no. Okay, I think that's good. Yeah, we
Okay.
definitely need to do something for that, yeah. And then this, I forgot to have you sign this here, but this is the 7 Pleasant Street, the above-ground pool. Mm-hmm. The guy who got the pool from, for his handicapped daughter.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I just forgot to have you sign it the
Oh,
other night.
okay.
the other day. It's just the RDA.
Was Jim here? Isn't,
I don't think you're here, so you.
I can still sign it,
I think he can still sign it.
yeah,
Yeah, because
What's-
you were on the site visit with us, didn't you?
right, I think so.
Yeah, and you
Yeah.
just didn't come to that meeting because of, is that the one you had the surgery?
We were at the hospital.
I'm losing track of these minutes and everything. So Jim has to look at the May 17th minutes. He's the only one, so that those can get approved. And then tonight, we just figured we'd approve them. I'll find out if that's okay.
I should ask him whether he went snorkeling out of Cancun.
do you want to read this letter, or is this for?
My wife, we were
personal?
Oh,
in
that's
old
for the deer
Upland,
survey?
Mexico, and
Yeah,
then
but
she
do we
wanted to
need
go
to
to the
read it
beach so
for-
bad, so we get out there, we go through the some sites in Yucatan, and out to
It's
the
just saying
coast.
that you're gonna get a survey.
And I'm having a
They
marvelous time with
want-
a
have
snorkel and
someone of us fill it out. So,
flippers.
I don't know if they-
Brooke, what is
Okay,
this?
the memo is from a group that's gonna be doing a deer survey. So Peg wanted you guys to just take a look at that. That survey hasn't come yet.
Right.
So, the town administrator said, well, people in the Conservation Commission would be good to do that. So when we get the survey, I don't know if some of you guys can fill it out, we'll have to see.
We really don't
Do you
do
know-
anything with deer in this
Well,
town.
maybe we could bring in some of the more intelligent people that are involved with the Carver Sportsman's Club.
Oh, that's true. They might be good to fill it out.
Maybe Larry Harju or,
Yeah, all right, well, so when we get the survey,
Yeah.
maybe we can see if we can
Okay.
get somebody that, yeah, because I mean, he just kind of gave it to us because I think he assumed that we knew.
not the
about
guys that are
deer.
firing the machine guns.
We're the deer people. And then the green thing, those are parcels that Clark Griffith is gonna donate to us.
Oh, okay,
The
you
one
mentioned that.
behind Camden Trail, the big one up at the top,
Oh, okay.
is, that's Camden down in here off Indian Street. So, and it goes right out to the river, so that's perfect.
Perfect.
And then there's the other two along the road, which, they're all already under conservation restrictions.
Right.
So, nobody can really build on them anyway, but he's
Yeah.
just gonna give them to us. And
Yeah, this parcel 2 got a lot of housing around it, so I don't think we ought to even think about considering it
Which
for.
one's that one?
The one right here,
Between Lakeview and Church.
yeah,
Well, that's the one that abuts a piece of town property already.
right,
Where
that's
they were gonna
true.
do the town park.
Yeah,
Okay.
So,
Probably take that.
we'll have to see,
I don't
though.
know. Yeah, we can take a look at that one. Suzanne, his daughter, said she thought that would be one that we would like because it was already, joined.
Yeah, and it's right on the edge of Sansom's.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, look at this, yeah.
Yeah.
I know.
Isn't that where we
I mean.
Of course we'd want
caught the guy mowing the cranberry bog?
Yeah. No, we should,
House on Church Street, and there was, the next door
Right.
neighbor was out in the back mowing
I
the
think we
bog.
should.
No, I don't remember that.
It's gonna remain
I've
open
not
space.
been on that one.
No, you were, because you went and
Better
stopped
be
him.
under us than, it's not like.
Sort of remember now, okay.
I mean, no, you know,
It was
it's-
2 or 3 houses from the Ben Ellis over.
Yes, exactly.
Actually, I think that the people who lived around would probably want to know that it was conservation.
Right.
Jill from the office downstairs, she lives right there.
Okay, so what else do we have here?
That's it.
This is it?
She got apprehensive about something in the past, and she
Are we done for the evening?
misunderstood a description.
We are.
That's it, right?
Yeah.
So should we take any action on the deer survey? Just say that we will, we'll look into it?
When the survey,
Shows up.
when the survey shows up, we'll.
Right.
It's like, I can't keep
Yeah,
track of
all
it.
right, so minutes, business, update on the co-property.
And so the next meeting is, because of the 5th, you know, nobody, I figured, nobody,
Right.
it would be the 12th. There's
Right.
only one thing on for that,
Right,
so.
and
but that's Savory's party week.
I will not be here on the 12th.
Or either that or we'll all go to Savory's.
Do we have,
Meeting there at the party.
we could take my canoe and come in by Cece and really surprise him.
And there won't be any bugs around because he's already got the.
Very well
mosquito
sprayed.
Yeah.
Does Denise get to come to the party because of all the spray?
She might show up, who knows?
But Tim will be able to come to that. He's gonna come to all the rest of the meetings. He just ended up having something tonight.
What
So
do we
Tim
have?
is back.
Do we have
Tim
something
is back.
scheduled for the
Okay.
12th already?
For the 12th, yes, and actually it's only an RDA, it's for tree trimming on Route 44. So it's not a,
We might want to move that to the next,
can we, if you
yeah,
already
I think we did.
advertised?
Well,
Can we re-advertise? I know, it does seem kind of, because actually, we may end up getting something else before the 19th, so. And then that puts us back on the 3rd week,
yeah,
you know what I mean?
that's right, yeah.
And you won't be, okay, maybe then Mary Ann will be on vacation the 12th.
Yeah, let's
That's
try
why
and
we
see if
can't
we
do
can
that.
switch it to the,
You just re-advertise it
yeah.
again.
Yeah.
I'll call them, and I'm sure they're under big.
Tell them that due to circumstances, we can't have a meeting on the
Right,
12th.
we'll just say we won't have a quorum.
Okay, so
Yep.
we'll cross that out.
All right. And it's tree trimming, like I
Right.
said, on Route 44, so, I mean, I don't think they're in a great hurry to.
Excelente.
19?
Okay, so that's August.
Okay.
Too bad you didn't get out of it.
No, it's fine.
So now we can all go to the party.
We just cleared our agenda for
won't be here.
Savory.
If you come by canoe, I'll have to set up a drive-through. There's some food out there. All right, I make a motion that we adjourn.
I'll second.
Been moved and seconded to adjourn this meeting. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Pass unanimously.